Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is a good morning. And I'm happy to welcome you to our celebration here at Unity Center in Milwaukee. I'm Mary Gabrielson, and I am your minister here. And it's always a great time when we can get together and be together. We celebrate one another in love and an unconditional positive regard. So let's begin our spiritual journey this morning with our statement of truth. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good omnipotence. And the affirmation for our church. Thank you, God, that we have come to this place to release the past, to celebrate the present, and to embrace the future in love, peace, harmony, and prosperity. Our prayer for racial healing. We are here because we care. We are here because you care. We are here because I care. Let me be the peace and act the peace. Let us move our hearts to the highest and best of us and focus on racial healing for self, others, and the world. In unity and through the name of Christ. Amen. This is the time in our celebration when we pray with those who have made prayer requests. Normally, we do not use any names for confidentiality's sake. However, I do have two that I'd like to announce. The first is that our beloved board president, Dennis Clark, is experiencing a health challenge, and he wanted his spiritual community to know and to hold him in prayer for healing. So let's do that together, shall we? Dennis, the Lord of your being blesses you with wholeness. You are strengthened and renewed. The life of God is present in every cell and atom of your being. It is moved by the wisdom of God that is also present. You are renewed, restored, strengthened, and made whole, well, and free. And we say, thank you, God. And then Tommy Lopez called in this morning to let us know that his sister, Leslie Ann Lothar, made her transition last night. So we would like to pray with Tommy. And first we will pray with his sister, Leslie. So if you'll join me in prayer. Gracious God, we know that you open your great heart of love and welcome home Leslie Ann. We know that as she is with you, she is at peace. Her body is healing. She can breathe fully and naturally and comfortably. We give thanks that this is so, and we ask for prayers of comfort for the family. Let them know that your loving kindness and mercy enfold each one. Let them know that they are enveloped in comfort and compassion, that they are able to relax and rest and lean into God. God, let each one know your peace and your quiet power. Let them feel it as it fills them. Let them move forward with confidence to do what is theirs to do during this difficult time. And for others who are praying for particular things, we ask for um, general strength and intelligence. We know that the Lord of your being blesses you with divine intelligence. You are divinely directed to your good. The Lord of your being blesses you with love. You are filled with love and you express love in all that you do. And for these prayers and the many others that are whispered and spoken and held quietly in heart and mind, Lord, we know that you are listening and we know that you answer each and every one in your perfect timing. And so we say, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. I've asked Linda Zwerline to read the daily word for us today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dream. I turn my dreams into reality.
Pull it over by you.
Some of the most audacious, bold, history making events begin as dreams born in the imagination of those who understood the promise and the potential of humanity and worked to realize their vision. Even if my dreams do not change the world, they have the power to change my life. Today, I remember those whose dreams were fueled by their hard work, faith, and determination. I look to their example when my dreams feel far away and I'm running low on hope. I rekindle my dreams through my imagination, which keeps them vivid. My strength helps me remain committed to their realization, and my zeal renews my enthusiasm to work toward creating the life and the world of my dreams. And from Joel, your sons and daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions.
Thank you, Linda. Kevin is going to bless us with a wonderful original piece of music.
I've been ruminating on the lessons in our uh, Minister's Book Club on Thursdays. Can you move the camera for
Oh,
me?
certainly. I'm so sorry.
There we go. Okay. Anyways, there's some very challenging concepts in there, and I just kind of wrote a song about them, thinking them through. So let's see how you like it. I believe in compassion, but do I show it in my actions? Energize with passion, show it in my life. If I believe in forgiveness, then somehow I should live this, learn how I can give this, show it in my life. Who is my brother? Who is my neighbor? Who is my true self? Who is my savior? And in the silence, when thinkings ceased, who's in my presence? Who is my peace? If I can understand another, I can truly call him brother. Recognize my kinship with all humanity. I can recognize his trials, recognize his smiles. I can recognize his failings, for they're surely shared by me. Who is my neighbor? Who is my brother? Can we find empathy and truly see each other? Who's in my presence when thinkings ceased, and in the silence, what is my peace? So I believe in compassion, but do I show it in my actions? Energize with passion, live it for the world. If I believe in forgiveness, somehow I must live this and learn how I can give this, to live it for the world.
Oh, that was
Thank you.
lovely. Thank you. We are so blessed, aren't we? We truly, truly are. This morning, we're continuing on the series that we've been working with, and it's entitled Be Big for God. Um, and it came about as an inspiration, first of all, from scripture, from Jesus' words to the disciples when he said, "The things that I do, you shall do, and greater things than these shall you do, because I go to my Father. So that started me on this whole thinking about being a bigger expression of God. And then I remembered a great song written by a New Thought songwriter and singer whose name is Cerise Patron. Cerise, like the color. Pretty name, huh? And so the song is a powerful song. And in it, she says, yeah, I got to find the line. Anyway, she invites us to be bigger for God, to be a person that stands for love, who speaks out boldly without regret. So today we're looking at the whole idea of inspiration. Inspiration. Say that word with me. Inspiration. Inspiration. The word itself kind of inspires me. The word is a compound word, and it comes from the Latin inspire, which means to breathe life into. To breathe life into. I really like that. And that's a way that we can be big for God, breathing life just into our own lives. And you probably remember the scripture from Genesis. The story is written allegorically about how God created man from the dust of the earth. And then he did what? Come on. He breathed life into him. I know more than me went to Catholic school, and I know you heard that. So come on, get with the program. So, what does it mean then to be big for God? Um, it's about being able to stand for truth, stand for what is right in everything. It's important to speak out love in our world because you might have noticed this. Love is not spoken everywhere. Have you noticed? Lately, we're really aware of that. And so there are plenty of opportunities for each of us to speak out for love. And to be big for God is an invitation to let our lights shine. And we've talked about this from the very beginning. Our master teacher and our way shower, Jesus the Christ, said, let your light shine. Don't hide your light. And letting your light shine is not just about you feeling good, it's about you letting your light shine. Jesus says, for the glory of God. But I would interpret that a little bit more and say, for the glory of God, as people are inspired by how you live your life. How you live your life. If you're living your life for the glory of God, if you're living your life just to exist and subsist, there's a whole big difference there. So being big is about living out loud. Living out loud with no regret. I just love that line from the song. Living out loud with no regret. And when we can do this, we're in a much better position to live happily, to be happy. You know, none of us want to get to the end of our life and have regrets. Oh, I wished I'd have done that. Oh, I wished I hadn't stopped doing that. Oh, I wished I'd have tried harder. We don't want to live with regrets. We want to live big. We want to live out loud. And that means that we have to have some courage as well. Because sometimes we're going to try things, and believe it or not, we're not going to look like an expert the first time we try. But the fact that we try and that we keep on trying means that there's always progress toward perfection. You don't go from not knowing something to perfection in one breath. Gosh, I sure wish we could. Boy, would that make life sweet, huh? Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, says this. This is in his book, Talks on Truth. He wrote, there is within every man such a place, sometimes called the secret place of the Most High. He's pulling that phrase from Old Testament scripture. He says, this is the point that man understands what it is to be inspired by the Spirit and to say and do things extraordinary in the sight of the world. There is in that place within us a place in consciousness where the spirit of the divine indwells us. And it is in this place, he says, that we understand what it is to be inspired, to realize that we are more than what we have allowed ourselves to be in the past. And that when we get that feeling of more, when we feel that inspiration, we will say and do things that in the sight of the world are both remarkable and extraordinary. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, our New Thought cousin, said something similar in regards to inspiration. He said, we can be certain that there is an intelligence in the universe to which we may turn that will guide us and inspire us. Does that give you a sense of hope? It does me. It really does me. It helps me to remember that I am not alone. There is something besides me. There's a strength and a power around me, but more importantly, within me. Even if I can't grasp hold of it in the moment, it is there. And so it's about going through life more boldly, more consistently, and certainly with more passion. Inspiration amplifies our courage. Inspiration makes us far more keenly alive. It's to be inspired and to be inspiring. And to be inspired is to have that life energy within us quickened, amplified. Think about that for a minute. Think about something that has been inspiring to you. And when you felt that experience of being inspired, didn't you feel more keenly alive, more didn't you have a greater sense of vibrancy, of vitality? When we are inspired, that happens. When we feel inspired, there is a physical, emotional, spiritual experience that is happening. I was thinking about what are the things that inspire me, that make me feel more keenly alive, more vibrantly alive. And I came up with a whole lot of them. And actually, I think I'm going to start having an inspiration journal besides having a gratitude journal, because the things that inspire me, just thinking about them usually puts a smile on my face and can inspire me to a certain extent just thinking about them. So, for the biggest thing for me, the first thing that I think about is nature's beauty, the grandeur, the majesty of God's creation, of how when we are in nature, we are more keenly aware that we are one with nature. And I think about that. I think about, of course, the home of my heart, Hawaii, the beautiful, exquisite beaches, the aqua-colored water that is so clear. You can see to the bottom even when you're out 30 feet or more. I think about the variety of plant life and of animals and insects and birds that are in the rainforest. I think about the beauty of the lake where our home is in Minnesota. And each of those things uplift me no matter what the season is. The lake can be frozen, the ground can be white, crunching every step that you take with the snow, but there is still a pristine beauty about it. And it inspires me and it makes me feel like I can do things, like I can do things that I had no confidence in myself about even trying. I think about music. There are certain pieces of music that inspire me. Do you find that for yourself? Claire de Lune, La Mer. Oh, I listen to that music and it can move me to tears. It is so beautiful. La Mer means the sea in French. It was written by Claude Debussy, and even though it's not, he did not write it as a symphony. It could certainly be compared to a symphony. There's three parts to it. But don't you feel more alive when you hear music that just feeds your soul? I do. I do. And when you're around people that feel alive, isn't there a difference to the energy? A total difference than the people that are so focused on their screens, whether it's phone or Facebook or their tablet or whatever. The people that are alive, they feel vibrant. Birth inspires me. Birth of animals, physical birth of a human being. Yeah, it's messy, but it's very, very inspiring. If you don't believe in God in that moment, there's something wrong with you. I'm pretty sure. But even just watching the caterpillar that goes into the chrysalis that emerges as the butterfly, that's exciting. Certain writers and speakers inspire me. Jean Houston is one of those. I could listen to her 3 days straight in a row, and it's like being fed dessert for me. It is so enriching to hear that vocabulary and the richness in the way that she communicates. So I am hoping that this invitation will invite you to choose to be more consistently in the awareness of those experiences. To look at the people that inspire you, whether they're living or dead, is to feel more keenly alive, more fully alive yourself. But I think it's so ironic when I was thinking about this, that word inspire, we know means breathe into. But the interesting thing is, so many of the things that are so inspirational to me take my breath away first. Have you ever noticed that? It's just like, and fortunately, the next breath that you breathe in, you feel like you're breathing all the oxygen in the entire universe, and it feels so good. But to live that way is like to live, I think it's almost on fire in a way. Our spiritual teachings and practices, not our teachings alone, our practices of doing them, helps us live in that kind of an energy field all the time. It's that kind of energy where we feel that we are creating, where we feel that we are faith filled, where we are passionate, where we feel capable, where we know that we have a destiny that is greater than our every moment little lives that we sometimes box ourselves into. When we start living our true potential, to be inspired is to be keenly full of life energy, that life that is quickened, that is vibrant within us. And I believe that to be inspired has two ways to get there. One can be as a result of pain, and one can be as a result of a compelling vision. And I'm reminded of what Dr. Michael Beckwith says, this little one liner: the pain pushes us until the vision pulls us. And I got to thinking about how pain and vision are so both incredibly inspiring, both of them, but I like to lead with inspiration. That works a little better for me. So while pain can certainly help us to be inspired, it's more comfortable for me to be inspired through inspiration than pain. Um, but it can certainly be just as effective. So tomorrow, we're going to celebrate the birthday of a very important man. It's a holiday that has become one of my special favorites. And it is the holiday, the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I think about the speech that he gave. And I was really young at the time. Well, yeah. And I remember seeing him on TV. And of course, during those days, things were played repeatedly, just as some of the news is even today. But fortunately, through having the opportunity to have it repeated many times, that was in August of 1963, long time ago, 58 years ago. Dr. King gave our country a compelling vision, did he not? Truly. When he spoke those words of his dream, he said, I have a dream that one day our nation will rise up and live out the true message of the creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. He said, I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of slave holders and the sons of slaves will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that even in the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering in the heat of injustice and sweltering in the heat of oppression, that it will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Those are such compelling words. He painted a vision for our nation that we have not yet fulfilled. This kind of chokes me up. It's kind of embarrassing as a white woman in this day and age to say that we have a long way to go yet. We have not fulfilled it. We're getting better, but there is no question that the vision is so compelling that it's reached right into the minds and hearts of so many people to make fundamental and needed changes. And we have a ways to go yet. You know what? We cannot legislate fairness. We can't inspire a heart that truly loves beyond race and creed. That's something that has to come from within. The law can't make you do it. It comes from a choice within. And there's a tremendous amount of healing that I believe we as a nation still need to do around this issue. And until we get it, in a very deep and real and profound way, we will keep having the same problems and we will keep having them. My notes say pause for applause. Vision is powerful and vision is inspiring and vision helps us become our better selves individually and collectively. However, the same can be said of pain. Vision pulls us and pain pushes us. You're sitting here today, whether you're here or whether you're listening at home, or anytime you take a class or set foot into the campus of this place, you're sitting here because inspiration came about in my life because of pain. The pain was so great for the largest part of my life. I suffered this pain without knowing that other people didn't have it. I thought it was just part of being a human being. I had kidney disease, but my family didn't doctor unless it was a broken bone or the bleeding couldn't be stopped. They just didn't. So I never knew that other people didn't feel the same kind of pain that I was in. I thought it was just normal. However, when my oldest and wisest was born, my son, I had renal failure. And at the time that I was in a coma, I had an out-of-body experience called a clinical death. It was the experience of my consciousness leaving my body behind. It was the experience of entering a place that I didn't really know, but it was the first time in my life I had been pain-free. And needless to say, I wasn't eager to go back into that diseased old body, but I had to. It doesn't have to be physical pain that pushes us. I have a friend who answered a call to ministry that she thought was answering her calling. She was an associate minister for someone who was not a kind person. And for almost 3 years, she went through daily experiences of being told she wasn't good enough, she didn't measure up. But the final straw was as she was getting ready to teach her first class. Now, she'd already been here for almost 2 years. She was getting ready to teach her first class, and she could hear people coming into the classroom and getting settled. The senior minister walked in and closed the door, and he said, "Listen, those people out there, they're just here as a favor to me. You're not going to do well. In fact, you're going to bomb." And he turned around and walked out and slammed the door. And bless this person's faith. Those tears were like jagged points in her eyes. She wasn't sure she was going to even be able to utter a word. But you know what? That was the final straw that pushed her to gather her wits, her energy, her courage about her, and to begin a new ministry for herself. And from that day to this, her ministry is exceedingly, exceedingly successful. And the byline and the side note is at the end of her first class, all of the students gave her a round of applause. So, as excruciating as that finale was that forced her to move on, she got a little bit of satisfaction. Tony Robbins says change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. Think about that. Change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. You know, sometimes we would rather fight than switch, and sometimes we'd rather switch than fight. Well, the switch than fight people have a lot of opportunities to gather courage together so they can do what is theirs to do. Pain can be so inspiring, but I don't think we need to cultivate it on purpose. But it can inspire us. It really can, and make us be our better selves. It can inspire us to do things that we never thought we could do before. I came across a simple quote. Listen to this. To be inspired is great. To inspire is incredible. To be inspired is great. To inspire is incredible. I've shared with you some of the things that inspire me, and I've encouraged you to think about things that inspire you and to remind yourself and put yourself into an experience of those very things that inspire us. And if you can't do it in the moment, do it in your meditation, do it in thought, because when we're inspired, we are so infilled with that God energy that's always there, but suddenly it is quickened, it is awakened, it is amplified, and we feel it. And it's a great feeling. I've encouraged you to look at vision as a way to be inspired and to look at pain as well, because it's equally inspiring. And I have no doubts that every single one of us in this room or listening to this message today is capable and called upon by life to be inspiring. And even if you've never looked at yourself as being inspiring to others, you are that. You are. The world needs more of you to be that. It needs each and every one of us to be willing to be that vehicle to inspire others. Now, how do we do that? Well, there's different ways. What it really comes down to is it's how we choose to live our lives. It's the way that we choose to live our lives. Every time you make a choice to speak out for love, every time you speak out against intolerance or injustice or prejudice, anytime you do that, you are an inspiration. In that moment, you are an inspiring energy. Have you ever been in a situation where you're with a group of people and everybody is running around like a chicken without a head and they're all freaking out and they're all upset and nervous about things and you're sitting there calmly? Sitting there calmly is inspiring. I was so inspired when we talked at our book study after the assault on the Capitol, and Kevin said, I was really quite calm at the time. And I thought, holy moly, how did he do that? And he said he felt that it was going to be taken care of. That's simple. And I'm thinking in my mind was going, whoo, 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 whoo. You know, what next? What next? Anytime you've ever had an overcoming in your life, and we all have, we've all overcome something, any challenge that you're dealing with, you are an inspiring field. You are the focal point for others that have been around you. They notice how you've worked your way through it. And in that moment, you are an inspiring energy to others. And aren't you glad about this next piece? I like this. Anytime I overcome something that I've been struggling with, something that has been painful, something that has been awkward, and I get through it and I overcome it, I find out that my overcoming has helped someone else. And I'll tell you, it makes the agony of whatever I was going through so much more manageable. It just feels better. Have you had that experience? Yeah. Can I hear an amen? Amen. Yeah. Every time you speak out for love, you're inspiring others. And every time you make a better choice about what you're going to do next, you're inspiring others. And every time you choose to live your life in a better way, to be kinder, gentler to our planet, you are an inspiration. And every time you face your own fear, you come face to face with it and you say, I can overcome this. I can get through this. This is not going to stop me. No matter what story you may have been told by your parents, a teacher, your brothers or sisters, coaches, that you were somehow not enough, that you didn't measure up, let go of that story because they were wrong. They were just wrong. It's that simple. You are a child of God. You are endowed with infinite power and potential. Be bold. Be contagious in your courageous acts and speech. And start right where you are to be inspired and to be inspiring. Namaste. Let us prepare for meditation. So as we breathe in the perfect peace of God, and we allow that peace to fill our minds and hearts. I affirm that I practice being understanding. I practice being understanding. If I'm understanding, I won't be judging. If I'm judging you, I won't understand you. If I am understanding, I will not judge you. Love sends us in our full humanity to encounter the full humanity of others, sometimes messy, real, complicated as it might be. That compassion may be our practice, that differences may be our teacher, that honesty and truth may guide us. God calls not the perfect, but the willing. God calls with the assurance of Spirit's companionship, that each of us can go forth to do what is ours to do, to go in peace. Rest in that thought for a moment. We have the power to improve our environment. Each of us can make an important difference in our world with God's help. We can meet and overcome any challenges facing our world. If you are facing a challenge, keep your thoughts away from the waves of the storm and stay anchored in the depths of the ocean where peace and quiet abide. Solutions that are perfect are the God-given state that now comes forth unimpeded by fear and questioning. Although environmental changes and challenges may seem large and complex, let us begin with our individual environments, our homes, our neighborhoods, our workplaces. Let us do what we can do to bring beauty, illumination, love, and joy to our own personal world. We make our lives Christ centered, and everything that we think and speak and act centered in the Christ radiates out to others. And where there is an environment of challenge, the ideas and the means to resolve those challenges are forthcoming from God. Live your life as worthy of the gospel of Christ, meaning that you do not get impatient or frustrated with outer conditions. The inner you does not get angry with others, but pauses before speaking or acting, to speak and act with love and understanding. Dear God, in the quietness of my soul, I find new peace from the wellspring of tranquility. Spiritually, throughout, I am not moved by outer surface events because I am anchored in the calm peace in my soul. This we pray and affirm in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. It is time in our celebration when we give of our gifts and prepare for passing the basket, which we don't get to do, but we do have a basket here as you exit the chapel. And we welcome your tithes and love offerings. Supporting our ministry is vitally important, whether we're able to meet together in living color or we do it this way. Thank you to technology. So together we bless our offerings with the statement, there is no lack or limitation. Freely I give, and freely I receive from God's abundance. I am blessed as I give, and unity is blessed in receiving. Thank you. Kevin's going to be blessing us with a piece of music in just a moment.
I shared this song last year about this time, and it's called My Resolution for the Year, but it's still a work in progress, so I'm still working on it this year.
I love that.
My resolution for this year is to love my enemies, all of those that truly are, and those I only perceive to be. My resolution for the year is to love unconditionally. There's hate enough in this old world. I don't need no hate in me. 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 There's hate enough in this old world. I don't need no hate in me. Another year older, and it's time to reflect if I made the world better in any respect, or at least not made it any worse yet. It's hard to live without regret, which brings me back to love. My resolution for this year is to love my enemies, all of those that truly are and those I perceive to be. My resolution for the year is to love unconditionally. There's hate enough in this old world. I don't need no hate in me. 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 There's hate enough in this old world. I don't need no hate in me. This world is careening around and round, giant tornado touching down. Does anyone else hear that sinking sound? Our world seems to be crumbling down. And strange as it seems, we need more love. My resolution for this year is to love my enemies, all of those that truly are and those I perceive to be. My resolution for the year is to love unconditionally. There's hate enough in this old world. I don't need no hate in me. 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 There's hate enough in this old world. I don't need no hate in me.
Oh,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Kevin. As you were singing that song, I was thinking about a quote from Will Rogers, which of course I can't remember correctly. Does anybody remember the quote about I've never met a man I didn't like? Yes, but there's something about friendship in there too, and I don't remember what that is. Anyway, be that as it may, it's an important point to love one another. And the point that I really want to take home from Kevin's message is the enemies that we perceive. And who are the enemies we perceive? They're the people that don't think like we do. But if we got to know them, if we got to understand them, then we wouldn't be judging them as being enemies. And I'm saying that for myself to hear, first of all. Okay, today's announcements. There's a couple of them that I want to draw your attention to. The first one is that I'm not sure which was going to come up first. Is oh yes, okay. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, you can join the Unity communities all across the globe to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King. And are there further instructions on that slide to do that? Okay. Um, I I would suggest I'm not in the office on Monday, but I would suggest that you call Silent Unity and they will tell you how to tune in to it. So call 1-800 now pray. That's silent unity. They'll tell you how to tune into the celebration. Make sure you do that early enough so you can get in easily. The next announcement is one that we put into the e-blast that goes out every week, and that is that some folks have been asking about classes. So if you are interested in taking classes, please let me know what topic interests you. That would be at number one. Then also, because the class size would be limited here at the center, we'll be doing a live stream of it that can be viewed later. So Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock would be the live stream. And then we would put it on again at 9:30 or at 1:30 or any time after that Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock. So please contact the office, leave your name and phone number so that I can call you back and find out what you're interested in and if that Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock time will work for you to be on the live stream. The only advantage to being on the live stream is that you can ask questions and make comments that you don't get to do if you're just watching the presentation. But in either case, we'll make arrangements to have you join the class. There's a registration process. So I look forward to hearing from you and hearing about what interests you. Any other announcements? No. Okay. Will you join me in speaking the prayer for our country? It's the second verse of America the Beautiful. O beautiful, compassionate shores, where dreams and hope are born, where kindness and civility can weather any storm. America, America, God heal this great divide. Let fear release, rekindle peace, till all our hearts unite, you and me, from sea to shining sea. And we close all of our gatherings together by speaking this prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. God bless us all richly, everyone. See you next week.